We have another painting for you today. Let me pick it up right here. Boom, the Coffee King. That's what I'm talking about. I love coffee. Let me speak into the microphone. You guys get to see my blue microphone today. The Coffee King, one of my favorite paintings. I painted it in Greece when Ruth and I were living there last year in Halkida, Greece. We were there for about 6 weeks. And while Ruth was doing her work, I was creating a new body of work. Take a look at that right there. So the video going on in the background, I begin almost as always with the drawing, the pencil, sketching it out, getting it rendered on the page before I go in with the watercolor paints. This hat is the one that I received. I got this Panama hat in Greece while we were living there. And thank goodness, because it was so hot every day. Was it between like 33 and 40 degrees Celsius? It's like 100 degrees Fahrenheit, which is like what it is right now in Texas. So this is a great hat to have, and it kept me going every day on our walks out in the sun. Well, a lot of it was shaded, thankfully. But in the background, you see the drawing, and we have the coffee. I am, to a degree, obsessed with experiencing coffee. Now, that is partly like I love making AeroPress. I make AeroPress almost every morning, but that's all I have right now in my repertoire of coffee making abilities and tools. It's just the AeroPress. I want to be getting, the Chemex. I want to get a Kalita. I want to get an espresso machine. I need a whole plethora of tools to really experience coffee in the full breadth and the full way that I want to. But while I'm waiting, I can illustrate the coffee that I love to drink. So I actually threw right up there in that top left corner is the Greek coffee that I'll get so much. I don't add milk, I don't add sugar. I usually just drink my coffee black, but in Greece, you don't drink it that way. You get a Greek latte, and that's what I got almost every day. It helped add to the girth that I'd put on while we were living in Malaysia. And now you see the rendering is almost full, just the plant to the side there in the background, and we're about to jump into the watercolor stages of this painting. I worked so long on creating thumbnails and sketches to create this piece, and I look back on it on that collection that I created, and this one had the best tone to it, the best values to it, the best overall composition. And I think it's because I obsessed over the thumbnail sketches ahead of time, and I need to think about that in the future as I keep moving forward. What did I do with this piece in particular that made me love it so much? And it has to be in large part due to the fact that I was illustrating coffee, one of my obsessive experiences. And so I think that same experience was poured into preparing this illustration to be the best that it could be. And now we have the watercolor, so instead of covering the entire sheet in water like I normally do, I just covered the background and laid in the colors that I wanted. It had a nice gradient, very soft, kind of deeper values at the top going down to almost white at the bottom. And I added color in the plant. Very, very basic on that initial wash of color, which is strange. It's rare for me. Then I add in the base colors for the flying cup of coffee, the floating Chemex. You can see the coffee kind of tilting with gravity as the Chemex is at about a 45. And then we have a latte that's balancing on a metal ball. Why? I don't know. It was just an interesting thought. I liked playing with the idea of magic and surrealism, and instead of just having it floating, I thought maybe create this tension in the balance of the cup on the ball on the table. So that was fun. And then we have a flying cup of coffee. I should have thrown more coffee to get the real understanding of how it flows in the air, what the color is like, what light is like shining through the coffee. But I kind of just went with it on this one. I like it a lot. Actually, after the fact, Ruth animated this coffee flying, and it's gorgeous. So go back and find that animation. Maybe I'll put a link to the Instagram post in the video here. I love the flying coffee. So we have the latte in the upper left, the Chemex in the bottom left with another latte there, the flying mug of like maybe it's an Americano, maybe it's an espresso. Oh, and the watch right here. I would be wearing it right now, but I can't find it. Ooh, I'm sorry, Jonathan. It's Brew Watches. It was a perfect watch for this painting. Brew Watches was inspired by the cafe experience. So think espresso machine, think meeting amazing people, think beautiful black coffee, think coffee that has just the perfect ratio of milk and sweetness, and that's the Brew Watch that you see right here. This is the HP one with the rose gold case and the black dial. So beautiful. Now we're going back in so we finished the initial layers. Now it's about details, right? The background has its initial layer. All of the coffee kind of had its initial layer, and it's all about the details now. And that's what you see here. And we're going to leave the figure for the last. The figure is, I really love this one. I designed the suit myself. Not that designing suits is a particularly difficult task, not to put down any designers out there in the world, but there's a structure and it's about tweaking. And so actually making a suit, that's a whole other story. But designing one is there's not a whole lot involved. But I designed the suit myself. I like the espresso copper colors that are expressed in it. They match the hat, which I was designing based on a Borsalino hat. And the face is from a gentleman that I've got to know through Instagram, Rui Martins. He's a Portuguese gentleman. Cool guy. We met at Pitti Uomo. His beard is just amazing, and he has these really cool tattoos as well. I didn't do enough to allow the tattoos to be as important in this painting, but you can see on the hand there's his rose tattoo. His other hand has a skull tattoo, which is pretty cool. Then he wore these glasses. I don't know where the glasses come from. The glasses were just really cool. They stand out a lot, and boom, it all comes together. You have the Coffee King with this magical, surrealist balancing act of coffee all around the page, which I just loved. Man, that painting went by so fast. I could talk so much more about it. I'm going to leave you guys all now right here where we're at. Leave me any questions you have about design, about technique, about coffee. Maybe I have an answer. I don't know. About suits in the comments below. We can have a discussion. I would love that. Be sure to subscribe to Sunflowerman here on YouTube to get every one of these videos and more that we're going to be posting in the coming weeks and months and years, hopefully. We'll see where that goes. Anyway, thank you again. Have a great day.